Have you guys been playing Unica? Being the newest Strive character who somewhat aligns with my preferred playstyle, I've been putting a lot of time into her. Her dash cancel attacks and massively damaging combos are scratching my brain just in the right way. Hitting that dash cancel overhead for that extra bit of pressure is just... ooh, it's good. But there is something I noticed once Unica was released. You see, before she came out, the excitement around her was... well, okay, it wasn't. Most people I knew didn't really seem that interested. Either because they weren't that interested about the anime that she was from and didn't watch it, or they did watch it and they weren't that impressed. And I get it. Dual Rulers is the best 6 out of 10 I've ever watched. Unica in it specifically doesn't have a lot going on. She's a very bland character whose arc involves getting betrayed and getting revenge. There's no moments for her to shine as a character, since there's barely any downtime in the whole anime. And the moments we do get, she's being overshadowed by some of the already established cast. So going into Strive, most of us didn't expect much from her. But it turns out, we were wrong. Dude, she rides a motorcycle. She empowers her specials and she hits you with crazy bullshit. She can go Super Saiyan. Why didn't she do that in the anime? She's into fashion. She has a drip or drown emote. She tells Sin she's gonna kill him. Her bike helmet has little ears on the top. She's so cool. I remember seeing the constant compilations of her flirting with Bridget around her release, and I just thought back to when the anime was releasing and the things people were saying around it and thinking, how did this happen? She has a literal TV show that is designed to introduce us to her. And in a few short hours after being in Strive, I learned more about her actual personality than I did in the 8 episodes of Dual Rulers. So what the hell's going on here? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. Fighting game devs have gotten really good at portraying their characters. Who'd have thought having teams of people who have spent their lives using limitations to make something great have suddenly gotten very good at their craft? But how do they do it? What's the secret behind displaying a good character? Well, let's get into it, shall we? Let's talk about why fighting game characters are amazing. You there, funny Geo guy! Wait, who the fuck are you? I'm you from the now, aka the future. That doesn't make any sense. I have something extremely important to tell you. Okay, so like, are you gonna tell me what it is? Anime girls be fucking balling! That's right, GamerSubs has a new waifu cup and it is fucking balling. You can get this awesome cup alongside any of their amazing flavors for 10% off using my code He'sGekking over at gamersubs.gg. So make sure you get yourself over to gamersubs.gg and get it while stocks last. Remember, that's code He'sGekking for 10% off. Did you seriously teleport all the way from the future to do an ad read? Yeah, but now, like, I've changed the past, so I'm not going to exist in a couple of seconds. Okay, is there anything, like, you want to do before you leave? Oh, okay, he's gone. Anyway, the personality of fighting game characters can be displayed in 3 major ways. Their moveset, their animations, and their voice lines. Let's start with moveset, since it's the one I'm most knowledgeable on, and statistically, half of you won't watch past this section. The moveset of a character defines what actions they can take in the middle of a match. These are things like how they move, what normals they have, what specials they have, all that jazz. We've talked a lot about movesets on this channel before, but I've never dived deeper onto what these movesets actually mean for characters. So before we go on to Unica's moveset, let's look at a common example so that we're all on the same page. You guys know Ryu, right? Mr. Fireball and Uppercuts? Yeah, that guy. Ryu's moveset is literally the base template that we use for the Shoto archetype. He's got all the basic moves you could ever want. A strong fireball, a strong anti-air, that also doubles as a reversal, something that deals with projectiles, and in later games, good combo filler tools. His kit is generally pretty strong, however, there's nothing special or surprising in it. Nothing that's gonna leave you going, what the fuck was that? For the most part, I don't know what's going on in Street Fighter 6. Apparently the Ryu players are writing poetry and murdering people. If you ask me, that's cultural appropriation, but alright, whatever you say. Ryu's moveset is seen as honest or privileged, depending on who you ask. And that reflects how he is as a character. Ryu wants to have a fair fight with everyone, and thus his moveset has very few gimmicks and even less surprises. But what if we made Ryu evil? This is about Akuma, not evil Ryu. I don't fuck with Street Fighter 4 that way, I'm sorry. Akuma is, by definition, a Shoto, as he has all of the same moves that Ryu has, but with some notable additions. He generally has two different types of fireballs. One that's stronger but takes longer to come out, and a normal one, as well as being able to use them in the air. He has a dive kick, he has the Demon Flip, which allows for multiple different moves, oh, and of course, the Raging Demon. Just from the moveset alone, having Akuma mirror Ryu's moves with a more powerful and aggressive twist implies that he's not here to fight fair, while still using the same style as Ryu. He's here to fight powerful opponents, but not for the love of the fight, but in the pursuit of becoming even stronger. If you were to take two blank models with no characteristics and give them these movesets, I'm sure that several people would point at Akuma's moveset and say it's the evil version of Ryu's, just simply by how it's designed. Hell, in Street Fighter 2, he was banned for the most part because the air fireball was so fucking annoying. So how does this link back to Yunika? Is she the evil version of someone else in the cast? No, but she does share several moves with other members of Strive. Several of her normals function similarly to Dizzy or Kai's, but her special moves rarely stand out when you look at them. The obvious one is 236K, known either as Gun Dipper or Penetrate. I'll let you figure out which one the official name is. This move is extremely similar to Kai and Sin's 236Ks, and it has a similar functionality to both of those, being a mid-crushing low attack that advances her forward and has the ability to leave her safe on block. Her 214S functions similarly to Dizzy's Mikkel sword, being a horizontal slash that gives her a massive bonus on counter hit. Hell, they both even have the same advantage on block, for Christ's sake. Her 214K is very similar to one of Sin's moves, and her DP is a DP. It's, wow, a Kisk family member having a DP? Fucking hell. Looking at her moveset, you can see the things she's gotten from her family lineage, similar to how you can see the relationships across the entire cast. But there's one more connection that's not been accounted for. Yunika has a stance that allows her to empower most of her special moves, so they have added properties, generally better knockdowns, added combo potential, stronger frame data, stuff like that. This is unlike any other character in the Kisk family tree. In fact, it's not even like anyone remotely connected to the main cast. Do you know who it is like, though? I really hope you're teaching her good lessons.
Bash his kneecaps!
No! Animation is one of the most important parts of any fighting game. We don't like to admit it, but fighting game fans are extremely fickle when it comes to how fighting games look. It doesn't matter how good your gameplay is. If it looks like Sin, there's a good chance people won't play it. Now, I remind you that MVCI has a bracket this year at Versus Fight. The best fighting game devs don't just use their animations to make gameplay look pretty. They use them to really sell their characters. It would be an absolute crime to talk about animations without bringing up Skullgirls. This game is absolutely amazing and just can't seem to keep itself out of controversy. Friendly reminder that if people do a job for you, you should pay them. There's a lot that we could talk about here. We could go over Peacock's gorgeous rubber hose animation style and how it plays into her being annoying. We could talk about Miss Fortune having cat-like features all over her attacks. We could talk about Big Band being a big band. But screw that, we're talking about Beowulf. Beowulf is a pro wrestler who literally does everything he can to play to the crowd. Several of his attacks directly have him interact with a virtual audience in the game, as well as even having some of them direct his gaze directly at you. He listens to the crowd cheers. He drops the mic. He beats the crap out of you with a steel chair. Hell, his taunt has him howl to the wind, and it causes pyrotechnics to blast at the edge of the arena. It's generally hard for me to not look at a Beowulf combo and get at least a little bit hyped, because this guy is playing to the crowd so well. In full motion, you can see the escalation of events as he sets up powerful attacks, kind of like how actual pro wrestlers do it. God, I love Beowulf. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, right. While Yunika doesn't have any pro wrestling influence, she leans into the idea of little person, big weapon really well. Several of her normals have her swing her weapon wildly, and the force of impact is absolutely insane. If you get hit by this normal, you know it fucking hurts. And even whiffing it makes it look like it would have absolutely killed. There is still a level of precision to it though. While this type of character generally swings the weapon wildly, Yunika does wield hers with a level of precision, taking the sparks of lightning and throwing them outwards, positioning herself so the weapon is angled correctly, and even aiming down the barrel to hit a shot when she needs to. There's a mixture of practice precision and wild offense. That's not all for animations though. Strive has a large array of non-combat animations that characters do. Obviously, this is things like idle animations, which are used across various games to show personality, but this also includes things like her intro, her taunts, and her victory poses. We can see a different side to her from this. She's bubblier and bouncier than you would have expected from her moveset alone. Several of her taunts have her express this personality trait. She examines you and either loves or hates your fit. She has a big stretch. She does fucking donuts on your corpse when she wins. It's a massive contrast to the way that she was portrayed in the anime, where she was just kind of angry. Finally, we have voice lines. Voice lines are super important for characters, since you're going to be hearing them constantly as you're playing them. There could be a character that you really like gameplay-wise, but if their voice lines are grating to you, you might not want to play them. Alternatively, you could absolutely love a character you don't even play just because of the things they say. The best of these could have entire communities blowing the roof off of venues with the amount of sound that they make. Keeping with the trend of talking about some of my favorites is Ragnar. BlazBlue is a very interesting franchise, and the characters in it have a lot of things going on. And while I've not personally played through any of the story modes, I still feel like I understand and know Ragnar a lot just because of the voice lines that he has. BlazBlue has a lot of really interesting casual elements, especially in the later games like Central Fiction. Not only does it have dramatic intros where people will clash and say specific voice lines to each other if it's a predetermined match, but even voice lines for gameplay elements will change. Overdrive, a mechanic in Central Fiction that lets you empower your character for a little bit, has characters say things when it's activated. And if Ragnar uses it against Jin, he screams his name. And it's fucking awesome. It really shows you the dynamic between these characters in a subtle and simple way. And I love it. While Strive doesn't have special intros anymore, that doesn't mean that characters don't converse like they used to. In fact, Unica has a bunch of special dialogue with a bunch of members of the cast. I've already mentioned the several minute long interaction she has with Bridget, but it is generally insane the way that these voice lines frame these spars. It feels less like a fight and more like two people flirting with each other in the worst way you've ever seen. That's not all though. She obviously has interactions with the entirety of her family and has a bunch of different things to say to all of her different family members. With Dizzy and Kai, she is quite cordial and quite nice, quite responsible. But when Sin's on the field, she wants to fucking kill him. This is also where we found the dynamic between her and Gio due to some interesting life lessons that Giovanna is teaching her. She has specific voice lines depending on people's fits, if she taunts, and it all just culminates to make a character that's actually interesting. You don't even have to go into the arcade mode or look in the GG world to understand what Unica is about. You get a sense of her character by simply playing as or fighting her. All of these little things add up to make Unica feel like a fully fleshed out and realized character, which again is insane considering the fact that the main problem a lot of people have with the anime is the fact that Unica is very bland. I love fighting games, and they continue to amaze me with how they take seemingly simple or even boring characters and add life and depth to them by just doing the most basic of things. I'm not necessarily the biggest Marvel guy, and I'm definitely not the biggest Guardian of the Galaxy guy. Have you seen the new Marvel Token trailer? Seen Star-Lord hit the taunt, bro? That shit looks cool! He actually looks sick as fuck! Stuff like this makes me want to play characters and want to try games. Let me know your favorite example of a character in a fighting game, and while you're down there, why not subscribe? If you would like more slop type content, I have a second channel where we talk about current stuff in fighting games, as well as whatever stuff happens on my stream. I also have a Twitch, it's down below. I'm streaming right now. Go buy Gamersops, send me money on Patreon. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next week. As always, a very special thanks to 64 MHz, Akechi Crow, Almost Naptime, Angel S, Axel of the Syndicate, Bocchi the Rock FGC, Daniel Wiedericht, Edison Luttrell, Fexo, Games.png, have fun pronouncing Asmiranda Mardica Destin Kuldakar. I fucking hate Magic the Gathering, by the way. Hoffmeister Bear, I Am Nauta, It's Riley, Criticat, Beige Paladin, MP04, NK Earmuff, Ray W, Sergeant Cubby, Shoddy Ree, Slimy Gal 42, Super, Forcon, and Velvet Poppy for being Tier 2 patron supporters.